intergalactic superheroes.
Welcome to Swipe. Now, first this week, it can be hard to keep up with all the tech and gadgets claiming to reduce stress and boost our productivity. But what if the answer lies in centuries-old classical music? Well, that's what researchers inspired by Albert Einstein claim, and Alex has been to meet them to find out more.
Okay, so if you're like me, you probably spend most of your day with a device or another plastered to your hand, and whether it's updates, push notifications, tweets, messages, or even perhaps the old-fashioned phone call, there's always something to distract us. So the temptation is, of course, to plug in and try and drown it all out. But what if the music we're listening to is having the opposite effect? Composers and neuroscientists in the States think they can prove just that. Their solution? A new genre of music. It's a hybrid of Baroque string quartets and contemporary electro trance. But what exactly is wrong with listening to your favourite songs to get motivated?
If you listen to music you like while you're trying to work, it's actually going to distract you. Because music you like is designed to engage you. So if you think about anything you like, say it could be Snoop Dogg, the Beatles, doesn't matter. If you listen to that music, it's going to be actually going straight in your ears, straight into your area of your brain, which is called the limbic system, where you feel the emotions. And those feelings and those wanting to sing along with it is actually going to distract you. It's actually going to divide your attention.
Will and John both have a background in composing chart hits. What they've created here is effectively the opposite.
Now, you might not have heard that when the whole track was going down, so it's something kind of blended together in just the right way. But what you're getting is a certain pulse at a certain tempo. Then when you break it down into hertz, or how many beats per second are happening, you have a theta state from 8 hertz to 14 hertz. And we know this from 5 years of research.
Yeah. So these this is a very specific speed. And what that is doing is that is additionally helping your brain get into a flow state when you're working.
The music mustn't grab or thrill you, that's distracting. But it also can't bore you, that could put you to sleep. Will's team claim their tracks strike the balance you need to stay zeroed in on the task. Their inspiration came from none other than Einstein himself, who famously called his violin Lena his brainstorming device, and chalked up much of his success to listening to Bach.
And we're going to start by getting these electrodes a little bit more live with a little bit of water.
So with all that in mind, I couldn't resist giving it a go. John's hooking me up to a device which uses electrodes to measure activity in my brain. My challenge? To write a short article. For the first draft, I'm allowed to use my own playlist. For the second, I'm trying some of Will's new music. Now this is far from a perfect test, but still, the results are interesting.
We can see here, just like Einstein, what we know about Einstein is he was both very creative and very analytical. And he was able to combine these skills in a way that was unusual at the time, and still, I think, is very unusual. Here, just when it switches to the focus at will genius music, we have the synchronous activity. The left and right are going up and down together.
So obviously this is a snapshot, isn't it? How accurate is this kind of information, and what's the next step in terms of really locking this down as a scientific discovery?
What we know from these 1,800 people is that they perform better at these tasks when they listen to this kind of music, and that's great. What we'd like to know is what's going on in their brain. So you're right, this is exactly a snapshot. If we were going to do this scientifically moving forward, right, we would need to make sure we have lots of controls. So someone sitting in a room just writing in silence, someone sitting in a room and writing with different types of music, perhaps not just a 6-minute experiment with one person.
So you mentioned Einstein there, and obviously how Einstein's brain works.
Right.
You see any similarities?
Well, you both have brains.
Good, that's good start.
That's good. Yours is alive. And
Okay.
Yeah, certainly when you were primed, just like Einstein would prime himself with his violin playing to get into a flow state, when you were primed to get into a flow state, your brain absolutely came together.
You're very kind, Julia, but I think we'll probably have to leave the comparison there.
Most likely.
Now, before we take